Hi, I'm Joe, this is Sam.
And I'm Ryan, and this is how we built the Aries cable attachment.
So what is the Aries cable attachment? It's an integrated functional trainer, lat pull down and low row that fixes on the existing footprint of your power rack.
So why did we make the Aries? Our customers told us that they want to do cable work inside the rack. Lat pull downs and low rows are great, functional trainers are great, but they're both expensive and they take up a lot of room. The Aries costs less than both machines combined and doesn't require its own dedicated space in your home gym. So what's the difference between the Aries and a functional trainer? Well, functionality-wise, nothing. The benefit of the Aries is you don't have to dedicate extra floor space to another machine, while you also get the added benefit of a lat low row and a power rack.
So let's talk about the design of the Aries. We've got 6 cable termination points. Starting up top, we've got 2 for the lat pull down. Down below, we have 2 for the low row. And then out here, we have 2 for the functional trainer handles. And those all go back and connect to the 2 weight stacks. So the reason why we have the separate cable terminations up top and down below is so that you can do unilateral work, or you can combine them both together to get the maximum resistance possible.
Let's talk about the weight stack. Our plates are hot rolled and finish machined so that the pin will always slide in smoothly. They also have a 3% weight tolerance. The pin is magnetized so it stays in securely. We've also added an additional hole in the top plate so you can rest the pin when you only want to use one plate. We use a 2-to-1 ratio, which means 260 pounds feels like 130 pounds. We've marked the stacks with stickers that show you what the weight feels like, so you don't have to think about it and do the math. So for a lat and low row, we know that 130 pounds isn't enough. So we've designed the bar to attach to both cables, which means you can utilize both stacks for an effective weight of 260 pounds. We've also included 4 incremental weights for an added 10 pounds, which will feel like 5 pounds. And if that's not enough, you can upgrade each stack to 310 pounds. The shrouds encase the weight stack, and they are coated in our metallic black powder coat. We've also included a stainless steel logo plate and these laser cut windows so you can see the weight while you work.
Now let's take a look at the trolley. The goal with the trolley was to make this really light and easy to move up and down the upright. But also strong and durable to handle the full weight of the weight stacks. 2, we added a special plastic liner to the inside of the trolley for really smooth action up and down the upright. And 3, we added an oversized pop pin with a knurled handle for a really secure grip on the trolley. Some extra attention to detail here is we machined the inner sleeve of the pop pin for a really smooth, satisfying feel as you engage the pin. And lastly, we added a pin here for safety.
So we just showed you the trolleys on the 4000 series Aries. The only difference between the 4 and the 5000 series Aries is the trolley design. So as you can see, the handles here are on the side instead of in the back, and this increases the footprint outside of your foot plates by about 3.5 inches. Aries comes with a foot plate. That is our matte black powder coat and tread plate, so you get a nice secure grip with your feet, and is easily adjustable using our pop pin system. So we designed the Aries with custom aluminum pulleys, and we've added cable retainers so that the cables don't come off the track. The pulleys on the trolleys have 180 degrees of swivel. So the swivel is important for exercises where you're converging because it doesn't limit your range of motion. It's also important for any exercises you want to do outside of the rack. So how do the pulleys affect the footprint of the rack? Well, they add about 3 3/4 inches to the top of the rack, which is less than the multi-grip pull-up bar does. They add about 1 5/8 outside of the foot plates on either side, and they add about 6 inches forward of the foot plates in the front of the rack. So let's talk about the cables. They are rated for over 1,300 pounds, they are plastic coated for longevity, and we have a rubber liner in the crossmember to prevent the cable from rubbing on any metal surfaces. So one of the biggest questions we keep getting asked is, what is the cable travel? Well, on a 93-inch rack like the one we have here, your cable travel is 96 inches. And on an 80-inch rack, your cable travel is 72 inches. Now the cable travel is not affected by the depth of the rack. So your Aries is going to come with a couple different cable attachments. We've got 2 strap-style D handles that will be included. Now these aren't the final version, so we're not going to get into much detail with them. It'll also come with a lat pull-down bar and a low row bar. So we've designed the lat pull-down bar to be fully knurled through the outer grip area so you can grab it wherever you want and have a nice secure grip. Now it's hard chrome and it does have 2 attachment points, so you can connect it to both weight stacks so you can get the maximum effective resistance. So we've also included this attachment, which we refer to as the banana, and what this is for is connecting both of the weight stacks together so you can use other handles so you can still get the maximum effective weight.
So 2 examples of those handles we have here today, and these are things that rep carries. We have the triangle row or an open row. Both of these will work with the adapter, and you're going to be able to use all your other standard attachments as well.
We've been getting a lot of questions about exercises you can do with the Aries, so we're going to go through a lot of them right now and show you the versatility. So we've been getting a lot of questions about, can you do pec flies with the Aries? Well, there's plenty of cable travel, so you can work through a full range of motion. Now, one of the big advantages with the Aries is that it saves a lot of space. Now, a lot of people in their home gym, you don't have room for a full cable crossover, so the Aries combines that with the size and space of your power rack. So you can use that other area to maybe do other exercises, or you can put that money towards something else.
So we have Blake here today modeling. Now, Blake is 6'2", about 188 centimeters, and has a wingspan of a jumbo jet. As you can see, as he's working through the motions from high to mid, he has no problem getting the full contraction. Sure, it is more narrow than a typical functional trainer, but there's no issue doing the exercises.
So another positive with the Trolley utilizing the entire upright is someone like me who's 6'2", performing any kind of tricep exercise, such as a tricep pushdown, I can get that full range of motion.
So in designing the Aries, we did have to work on having a good functional trainer, but in addition to that, we needed to work on the low row and the lat pull down. Now, one of the most important parts of a low row and a lat pull down is having enough weight. We know that there's some competitors out there that stacks might go to 150, 200 pounds. We knew that wasn't enough for strong people. So we actually offer a 260 pound that can be upgraded to 310 pounds. Now I have Eric, one of our engineers with us today, who's also 6'2", and is built like a Mack truck. Now Eric is able to use this lat pull down with no issues. And as you can see, he can fully extend, getting the full motion, and we have enough weight on here for him to get a good workout. So I'm going to demonstrate the low row. Step 1 is adjusting the foot plate. Next, you get into position, and you start the motion. Now, even though I'm not built like a Mack truck like Eric, I still do have long limbs, and I can still achieve a full range of motion. And these weight stacks, they're enough for me. Now we've highlighted motions where you require a heavy stack with a functional trainer, but now we're going to talk about some of the ones where maybe you don't want quite as much weight. Maybe you want to do something like rehab, or maybe you have a petite build like Joe here and you need to actually just use less weight than a typical exercise. We're going to demo those now. So Joe's going to demonstrate a motion where less weight is required. He is doing a lateral leg swing. And Joe, how does that feel?
That feels pretty good. As you can see, I'm only using the head plate, which is 10 pounds, and that's really good. There's a nice burn right in the glute.
So another benefit of the lighter weight stack is being able to do things like prehab and rehab for the shoulder. Here, I'm able to do a scarecrow, and it feels great. Joe's going to demonstrate an internal rotation.
Yep, and as you can see, nice lightweight. Plenty of movement. It feels really good.
So we've been going through posts on Instagram, Reddit, and Discord, and we've heard a lot of questions. We've compiled them, and we're going to answer them right now.
So does the Aries affect the functionality of my power rack?
Minimally. We'll go over incline bench and some other ways to do it in a second in the video, but other than that, it adds a minimal amount of extra footprint. You are going to have to put attachments on a little bit differently than you typically do. And obviously you can no longer walk through the back of the rack. Joe, with the Aries attachment, do you need to bolt down your power rack?
Well, for safety reasons, we always recommend that you bolt down your power rack. But 500 plus pounds of weight in the back will add a lot of stability.
Is there going to be a plate-loaded version of the Aries?
We're working on a lot of products, both selectorized and plate-loaded, that'll be releasing throughout the year. It probably won't look exactly like the Aries, but we'll have something similar. So if somebody buys an Aries and then they decide to change their crossmember depth later, will this work for them?
It will not work with the exact setup. However, we are going to be selling different cable lengths, so you'll be able to upgrade flawlessly. Do you need a rear base stabilizer to use the Aries?
No, so the Aries actually will replace your rear base stabilizer. So what about for the people who have cut out their stall mats to allow the foot plates of their rack to sit on the floor?
It'll still work. You're gonna have to cut out the front just like you normally do, and you're gonna have to cut out a big rectangle in the back to clear all this stuff, including the weight stack. So what if somebody already has the rep, lat, pull down, and low row?
Well, we're working on some other products that will work in conjunction with that, but the Aries actually fully replaces the lat low row. So if you want the Aries, you get the Aries. If you're willing to wait, we don't have a timeline, but we are working on some products that'll work with it. So if I'm building out a power rack, knowing that I'm gonna get the Aries attachment, do you have any tips for colors or finishes that I should buy?
The Aries attachment will work well with all the different finishes. However, our matte black does have a texture. It will still slide well, but there'll be a little bit more friction than every other finish that we offer. Do the ISO arms work with the Aries?
Yes, and the first thing we'll touch on is how the ISO arms and the Aries exist on the rack together. So the ISO arm has to be set up below the trolley on the upright. As you can see in the back here, the cable completely clears this bracket for the ISO arm, so it's not going to rub on anything. So I've adjusted the ISO arm down here to the floor, and as you can see, it doesn't take up much more space than a front foot extension or spotter arm would. But like I mentioned earlier, the spotter arm needs to stay below the trolley because the cable comes off the front above the trolley. So obviously that wouldn't work with your ISO arms. So with the ISO arms attached, as you can see, the trolley's not going to go quite as low as it could have if they were not on there. And you know, this could be an issue if you're trying to do bicep curls, as you can see, not super low. But the nice thing with all these attachment points is you can go inside of the rack and you could connect it to one of the low rows and still do curls just fine.
Will my belt squat attachment work with an Aries?
Yeah, as you can see here, we've got it set up. We've used the banana so that way we can connect both weight stacks so you can get the maximum effective resistance.
As you can see, I'm able to do the motion the exact same way, and we have a nice big weight stack to ensure we have enough weight.
So can you bench with the Aries inside of the power rack?
Here's an FB 5000, here's a flat bench.
So as you can see here, we still got about 5 to 6 inches between his head and the shroud, and this should be no problem for any flat bench you want to do. And we recommend using spotter arms because unless your spotter is Super Paper Mario, nobody's going to fit back there. So what about incline benching?
To be honest, it doesn't work great. The issue with incline benching is as you increase the back angle, the J-cups are actually going to be behind your neck, so it's not easy to grab the bar. Easy solution though, bench outside the rack. Use your J-cups here, you can move the bench back and forth and you won't have an issue. Another tip is if you have a 41-inch depth, you have more room and you can actually turn the bench around and still bench inside of the rack, just putting your J-cups here instead.
So let's talk about compatibility. This is a PR4000 rack, and something to note is that we've redesigned the 16-inch cross members to be compatible with the Aries. Now, we've added these vertical holes, so if you have the older style cross member without the vertical holes, you will have to upgrade. Now, we will make it very clear on the website which cross members are compatible with the Aries and which are not. So we have cable lengths available for multiple different configurations of a PR4000 rack. Just remember, you need to have the new 16-inch cross members with the vertical holes because the cables run through them. So for a 6-post rack, you can have a 24-inch, 30, or 41-inch cross member in front and then the 16-inch in the back. Or if you want to save some space, you can do 2 sets of 16-inch cross members. Or if you really want to save some space, you can do it with only the 16-inch cross members in the back. And that would be a 4-post rack. Now, this is a 30-inch with 16 inches in the back. And then all of these cable lengths are available in both 80-inch and 93-inch height options. So what about the PR5000? The Aries is compatible with the PR5000 V2, but it's not compatible with the PR5000 V1. Now for anybody that's confused, a PR5000 V1 has alternating 1-inch and 5/8 holes throughout the rack, where the V2 has 1-inch holes throughout the rack. So now we stopped selling the PR5000 V1 2+ years ago, so any recent PR5000 owner shouldn't have a problem. But if you still have questions, please check out our FAQ on the webpage. So our PR5000 configurations are very similar to our PR4000 configurations. It's important to note that while all of the PR5000 cross members have vertical holes, you still can only use the 16-inch cross members in the back because of the way the brackets are designed. So I am standing next to a PR4000 rack, but the configurations we have available for the PR5000 are 30-inch cross member, 41-inch cross member in front, and then the 16-inch in back. If you want to save space, you can do 2 sets of 16-inch cross members. And if you want to save the most space, once again, you can do a 4-post rack with 16-inch cross members. And all of those are available in both 80-inch and 93-inch heights. Now in the future, we plan to expand our offerings for our cable attachments, but this version of the Aries is only compatible with PR4000 and PR5000 series power racks. It is not compatible with the Omni, the Apollo, or any of the 1000 series racks. So does the Aries work on any power rack besides rep? The short answer is no. This is a very complicated product with a lot of really tight tolerances, and we can't guarantee fitment on any rack other than a rep branded PR4000 or PR5000 rack.
So that's been the Rep Aries cable attachment. This is a project that's been ongoing for over 2 years for us. It's a real passion project for the entire team, and we're extremely excited to get this out to all of you.
And if you have any other questions, please reach out to our Denver-based customer service team. I'm Joe. This is Sam.
And I'm Ryan, and this is how we built the Aries cave.
Hell yeah!
No, I know.
Hell yeah!
I started thinking of a jackass joke as soon as I.
To do comfortably.
Let's